Ladies and gentlemen, good day and welcome to the Delta Corp third quarter FY23 analyst conference call hosted by Antique Stock Broking Limited. As a reminder, all participant lines will be in the listen-only mode. There will be an opportunity for you to ask questions after the presentation concludes. Should you need assistance during the conference call, please signal an operator by pressing star, then 0 on your touchtone phone. Please note that this conference is being recorded. I now hand the conference over to Mr. Alpesh Thakkar from Antique Stock Broking Limited. Thank you, and over to you, sir.
Thank you. Hello, everyone, and welcome to third quarter FY23 investor conference call of Delta Corp Limited. Today, we have with us the management of Delta Corp, represented by Mr. Hardik Devar, Chief Financial Officer of the company. The format of the discussion would be a brief opening remarks by the management, followed by Q&A session. Without much ado, let me hand over the call to Mr. Devar. Over to you, sir.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone, and thank you, Alpesh, for hosting this call once again. Not wasting too much time, I'm sure every one of you has gone through the results. While there have been certain conjectures and certain confusions in the minds of people with regards to the business and the margins and stuff like that when compared year on year, I have, during my interaction over the media as well, I have clarified that, December 21 was a base which is not comparable as regards to the current period. The fact of the matter is that it was only for part of the year that we were operational in that financial year, given the COVID second wave. And in the quarter of December 21, not all the expenses were at their pre-COVID level or the normal operating levels, whether it is the salaries, whether it was the license fees, or for that matter, all other operational expenses as well, which obviously in the current period are back to the pre-COVID levels. In fact, the regular increments which had not happened for a period of 2-3 years have also kicked in. The number of employees and the staff that had been reduced during the lockdown have also been brought up to speed. Rather, we are more than the number of people we were there then, because we've had effectively 2 new operations that we have added. So all those things, when you consider and when you factor in for those increases, the margins are not at all compressed or subdued, and in fact they are in fact better, because if I was to factor in the same kind of cost for the December 21 period, the margins would have been much lower. So the question of a compressed margin that is being spoken about, and the muted numbers that is being spoken about, I would not like to hold it entirely true. Yes, with regards to the revenue, sequentially, if you look at quarter on quarter, one may not see a substantial growth or a growth at all, because it is expected that when you have broken out at a certain level in the second quarter, continuously growing quarter on quarter may not be something that happens in any business for that matter, and especially in our business, we've seen that we have a step-up growth kind of a format where we reach a certain number, stay there for a couple of quarters, and then grow in from there with certain events and disruptions happening. Now, one such disruption as far as Delta is concerned is obviously in the form of the new vessel that we are expecting to launch, replacing our King's Casino, or Caravella as it was known earlier. We hope that in the coming financial year, towards the third quarter or so, we should be able to bring in the new vessel, which obviously, as has been seen in the past, whenever we have a new product, a better product, there is a disruption in the market which basically shakes up the whole space, and we are able to penetrate better and deeper. One of the reasons, obviously, with the new vessel is going to be the enhanced capacity, which will give us more space for accommodating larger number of guests who we have to, from time to time, turn down, given that we run full to our capacities over long weekends and holiday seasons. That said, the gaming business per se otherwise has demonstrated robust character, and we believe that given the new vessel and everything coming in the near future, we should be on a very good growth trajectory, given that we are maintaining a good sound run rate at this point of time. With regards to the online business, again, we all know that unlike the offshore casinos where during the month of December or sometimes during long weekends you see more traffic, on the online gaming space it's a little bit of different. The holiday season, typically festivals like Diwali, Dasera, etc. tend to be more of family time and family gatherings, and people do not log into online gaming sites that much. And same is true during even the last week of December, where it's more of a holiday time with the families rather than logging on to the online gaming sites. And therefore, we see lesser traffic that gets generated. However, to be able to maintain the run rates and to be able to retain and keep the traffic on, we tend to spend a little more during these periods on the marketing and sales promotion and related activities. Thereby, we are able to continue and maintain the run rate. And as can be seen, as against about 49 odd crores that we had done in the previous quarter of September 22, we have ended up with a 51 crore. So, would not call it growth, but still a strong and resilient kind of a growth. The investment that has gone in form of sales motion, marketing, advertising, and all the other activities that has happened in this quarter and over the last few quarters that the online business has embarked upon, we are very confident, as is clearly visible, that in December 21 the online gaming business was at about 35 crore for the quarter, which has gone up to 51 crores now, and we believe that the current run rate is much better, and we hope that we will be able to surpass even this 51 number going forward, given the current run rate. That, coupled with the fact that we will continue to invest and focus on marketing, sales, promotion related activities, we hope to see better numbers and better growth going forward. With regards to hospitality, it has always been our say that it's a complementing business to our gaming business, and it's only a happy situation to be in where, despite of not being the core activity or the core business of the company, we have been contributing at operating levels, and we have been doing reasonably well and growing steadily in that space of hospitality as well. So by and large, I believe that we are on the right path and the right trajectory as far as the performance and operations of the company is concerned. One has to look, like I explained, and I tried to analyze and decipher the numbers and the reasons for it. One has to look at it in a more pragmatic and a practical way at the numbers, rather than merely looking them as pure play set of numbers on a standalone basis. With this, I would like to invite questions, and I will try and answer them to the best of my ability. I have my colleagues Shivanandan Pare and Pragnesh, who are also on this call. If required, we would be bringing them in to answer any specific or technical questions if there are any.
Thank you very much. We will now begin the question and answer session. Anyone who wishes to ask a question may press star and 1 on their touchtone phone. If you wish to remove yourself from the question queue, you may press star and 2. Participants are requested to use handsets while asking a question. Ladies and gentlemen, we will wait for a moment while the question queue assembles. The first question is from the line of Jiten Parmar from Aurum Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, good afternoon. We listened to what you said in the opening remarks, but if you can
Your voice is echoing. Can you pick up the phone, please?
One sec, please.
Mr. Parmar, we request you to please use a handset when asking the question.
Yes, sir, I'm using handset. Hello.
Yeah.
Yeah. So regarding this, in the previous year, December 21 quarter, there was COVID impact and all that. So, what?
Hello? Hello?
Yes. Sorry, we have lost the line for Mr. Parmar. Uh, we will move on to the next question from Mr. Abhishek Singhal from Naredi Investment.
Yeah.
Please go ahead.
Good afternoon, sir. Congrats for the good set of numbers. Sir, my first question, what will be the effect on the company from the rules that government is drafting on the online gaming, and what is the update on the IPO that subsidiary company was bringing?
Are these the only two questions?
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. So with regards to the rules that the government is framing, we have gone through the rules and set of regulations that the government is, planning to bring about as far as the online gaming is concerned. And we are very happy to note that, most of the requirements that the government wants these companies or wants companies like us to follow, we are already in compliance with more than 90% of what is required. In fact, I would want to say 100%, but it's a question of we following it at a certain stage and the government wanting us to follow it at a certain stage. Like, say, for example, they want some things to be done at the time of registration, they want something to be done at the time of deposit, whereas we may be doing it at a certain time later in the cycle. It's just those issues that are being ironed out between the industry and the government, and we are very, very confident and hopeful that the final outcome of the discussion between the industry, the government, and all the stakeholders and participants is going to be something which is going to be a win-win for everybody. More importantly, this is a step in the right direction as far as the industry is concerned, given the fact that this is not only giving the industry an interface in form of a ministry which it will be able to talk to and will be represented by, in addition to the self-regulatory body which will be like a watchdog who will keep a check and make a level playing field. But most important part in the whole thing is that this basically gives a recognition to the industry at a much larger level. That would obviously have a lot of other questions which were remaining unanswered at all points of time being put to rest in form of what is online gaming, whether it is gambling, betting, skill, non-skill, etc., etc. All those things will now be taken care of and will be put to rest, which obviously will help the industry when it even comes to the GST standpoint. And with regards to the IPO, I have already gone on record that the entire process and the steps that are required to be done to be ready and be prepared to launch the IPO, we have done all those activities. We have completed all those formalities. We are very close to the budget, which is not a very good time from a market's perspective to launch an IPO or, for that matter, do any fundraising activity, given that the budget is a big financial event. So we are waiting for that event to be behind us, and we are hoping that by the time the budget is all done and dusted with and has been presented, analyzed, over, issues which are the rules and regulation related issues or the GST related issues also will have gained a lot of clarity by then, which will make our path and road clearer and smoother for the IPO to be launched immediately thereafter.
Okay. And sir, what kind of margin are you expecting in Q4 and FY24? And what is CapEx plan, and how much CapEx have you done in current year?
So margin for what business are we talking of?
Sir, overall.
Yeah, so we are already at about 34-35% kind of EBITDA margins. We'll only better from here, given the fact that there are operational leverages which will obviously kick in over a period of time. So the margins are only going to improve from here. Also, given the fact that on the online space, once we start doing better both on the top line as well as on the contribution side, the margins will only improve from here. So I will only would like to state that, on the gaming side, we are currently at 34-35% kind of a run rate, and we should only improve from here going towards the high 37-38. Because if you see the casino business or the gaming business per se, the average margin is about 38-39%, and the blended margin is where we are looking at about 34%, which we believe can be much higher and much better. With regards to the capex, we are in the process of building the new vessel, which obviously will come into operation in the coming financial year by the third quarter or so. We have, the total cost is going to be about 225-250 crores, of which we have spent roughly about 120-150 crore kind of a thing. Another 100 crores ought to go, so which I don't think is a big number, but that should take care of the capex. So with regards to the new project, the Deltin Entertainment City or the Deltin Town or whatever is the name that is being referred to, that I think is not a large set of expense has happened as yet. Like I mentioned earlier, we are in the final stages of getting the last bit of approvals. Once those approvals are in place, we will be breaking ground, and once we break ground over the next 4 years is when we are going to be spending a large amount of money. But again, there we would be, as you know, we have generated about 300 plus crores of cash flow in the 9 months, and we hope to generate close to 400 crores this year. So I think we would be generating a similar amount year on year, if not more, which should take care of the capital expense required. And as you know, we are currently sitting on 650 crores of cash.
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. I will come back in the queue.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Pritesh from Lucky. Please go ahead.
Sir, could you give some idea on the supply addition in the water-based casino in Goa in the last 1 year and in the next 1 year?
In the last 1 year, there has been no addition. The last new vessel which came in, which added capacity in terms of the industry as a whole, was way back in May 19 when Big Daddy brought in and replaced its vessel. Other than that, the capacities have remained more or less identical. They have not changed. With regards to in the next 1 year, obviously our new vessel is going to be coming in, and we have gone on record to say that our own capacity would go up about 2.5 to 3 times from our existing capacity. So that's the kind of addition we are looking at.
Okay. Is there any loss of market share in the last 9 months in terms of the visitations by any chance for that?
No.
One clarification from the comment which you made, which I see only happening this quarter, is that you said that largely on the weekends and longer weekends is where the capacity is full and we have to deny guests. Does it mean
this is not a new comment, Pritesh. This has been my statement for quite some time, and that is where I have when we first spoke of capacity expansion and changing of the vessel, that's when I had also said that this is going to take care of those days during the year when there are weekends, long weekends, holidays, etc., where we go beyond capacity and we have to deny entry to people.
Does it mean that the current vessels are basically running at optimum utilization and optimum visitation?
It's very difficult. It is not like a cement or a steel plant where you have an installed capacity and you run at 100% or 110% capacity kind of a thing. The reason is very simple. It's a 24-hour operation. Your peak time starts at around 8, 9 o'clock in the night, goes up to 3, 4 in the morning. There is capacity which is completely unutilized or partially utilized or underutilized during the balance time of the day. Now, if you go to Macau and Singapore, whether you are at 11 in the morning or 11 in the night, there is hardly any difference in terms of the visitation and the crowd. That is not a culture that has picked up as yet as far as India is concerned, which obviously will only happen once the market keeps maturing and the visitations keep growing. So today, yes, while I would like to say that we are operating at a near optimum or near full capacity when it comes to the peak hours, and in the weekends, and now the weekends also have extended. Earlier it was Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Now the weekend starts on Thursday itself as far as our business is concerned, So I think, yes, we are going towards a more matured market and a more developed market, but I think to be able to put a finger and say that, yeah, we are operating at a full capacity or optimum capacity is a difficult question to answer in a business like ours.
Lastly, what is the Q3 visitation and spend number, if you could share that?
Q3, we have roughly about 150,000 guests who have come in. And the visitation, obviously, once your number of guests go up, will obviously drop. So we were at about 18,000 odd GGR per person. That's come down to about 16,000 because my visitation has increased from 115,000 to 150,000.
Okay. Thank you very much and all the best to you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Jiten Parmar of Aurum Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, I think my line got disconnected previously. My question is regarding, you mentioned that in December 21 quarter was affected by COVID, and December 22 obviously is an affected quarter. So what I want to understand is how is that, the hospitality business revenues are down. That is my first question.
No, so you are talking of gaming, or because what the comment that I mentioned?
Hospitality business.
Yeah, so they are. See, it's a very relative term when you say they are down. It was 16 odd crores, it's 14.5 crores. So 1 crore up and down can happen on multiple counts. And one of the biggest reason as far as our hospitality business is concerned, like I said, since one, it is not a core area for us. So the Goa hotel operations are more or less unaffected and the numbers are not very different. It is the Daman hotel operations where you would see this 50 lakhs, 1 crore up and down happening, because we look at a lot of corporate MICE and weddings that happen at our hotel. Now, in a particular quarter, if there are no wedding dates, then obviously you will not have weddings happening then, but you will have them happening in the current quarter because the dates are in January, February. So, it's a question of what shifts where. So I would not look at it as a dip because it's a marginal shift or a marginal change from where we were last year, similar period.
Okay. And also revenues probably have not grown to the context of, basically the jump in other expenses. So
which revenue are you talking of, Pritesh?
Overall revenues.
Why would you say that? Now, if you want to compare it with December 21, 9 months, we have more or less grown by about 42%.
I'm talking about quarter on quarter, please.
Yeah, so that I think I mentioned in my opening remarks that it's the second quarter which is always the path-breaking quarter as far as gaming business is concerned. And, the third quarter obviously will be a mirror image or a reflection of how the second quarter has grown and where we are. So from first quarter to second quarter, you see there is a growth. And then it's not a business where I just have to, press a button and things happen. It's a question of how the overall industry has moved. It is the factor of how visitations have grown. It is a factor of how tourism has grown. It is a factor of how a lot of things are around us has panned out. So given that, I think given that we grew to 270 crores from the earlier quarters, to expect it to keep on growing quarter on quarter, I don't think that's going to happen, and historically also has not happened. So it is a step-up growth pattern and format that Delta has always followed. So you have a step-up that has happened in form of 270 crores. It takes a couple of quarters, we stabilize here and then grow again.
Okay, that will be all. Thank you.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Nitin S. Dharmawat from Aurum Capital. Please go ahead.
Yeah, thank you so much. Sorry, I joined a little late, so some of the questions can be repetitive also. So, wanted to understand what is the fourth quarter guidelines that you have right now. And
we normally don't give any guidance or guidelines for any forward-looking numbers, Nitin.
Okay. So instead of saying guideline or guidelines, how do you see this quarter shaping up compared to the previous quarter that has gone by?
So the second and the third quarters have always been the most robust and the most high performance quarters as far as Delta is concerned. And the momentum of the third quarter carries on into the fourth quarter, at least for the first month or month and a quarter or so. So January, February, currently the trend is quite strong and robust. However, this year, in this particular quarter, we will have a small I would not call it disruption or aberration of sorts, because this was always planned in this financial year, is our dry dock. So one of our vessels is going to be out of operations for about 2 to 3 weeks in the month starting towards the end of February is what has been planned. It was initially planned for the month of October, and if you go back to my transcripts of the earlier calls, you would see that we had spoken about this dry dock in the month of October. However, because it's a high season of sorts and we are in the peak of our momentum, we tried, discussing with the authorities and have pushed the dry dock back to the fourth quarter. But that dry dock is now imminent and it's going to happen, so which obviously will have some sort of an impact on the revenue. But otherwise, from a trajectory and a trend perspective, even given the fact that we are already into the first 15 days of January, I don't think there is any change of momentum or change of trajectory.
Oh, perfect. The second question is about the IPO. So, are we planning anything during the next financial year, or will it take more time? I
already answered that question, Nitin. Just for your benefit, I will answer. We have complete thing that is required from our side. We are in complete readiness. We are only waiting for the events like the budget to go, to happen, and the clarity around the rules, regulations that the MeitY has come out with, and a little bit on the GST. Otherwise, we are in complete readiness, and we have enough clarity, and the market visibility is clear. We should be able to launch the IPO as soon.
Okay. Thank you so much, and wishing you the best.
Thank you. We have the next question from Nikhil Agrawal from VT Capital. Please go ahead.
Good evening, sir, and thank you for the opportunity. So I just had one question. Just wanted to know, what are your licensing fees for the Nepal and Sikkim casino?
So, if I am not mistaken, Sikkim, there has been Pragnesh, you are there on the call. If you can just tell me the exact numbers that we have. I think it's 1 crore or something for Sikkim, and Nepal, I think it's a fixed fee for a longer tenor that we had paid in advance. Can you, if you can bring in Pragnesh, he will have the numbers, please.
Mr. Pragnesh Shah is on the line. The line has been muted for him.
Hello.
Yeah, Pragnesh. Yes,
yeah, Nepal it's around 1 CR a year, and Sikkim it's 75 lakhs a quarter. So.
Okay. And there has been no revision in these licensing fees this year, right? It's only for the Goa.
Sikkim there is a revision. Sikkim this year from October onwards there is a revision. So
correct.
they've increased to 2.5 CR now.
Okay. Per quarter.
But that's how Pragnesh, you said, no, 75 lakhs a quarter.
Yeah, correct.
So based on 75 lakhs, there has been no change. 75 lakhs is the revised number.
Correct.
Oh, okay. Got it. Thank you so much. That's it from me.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Dhwanil Desai of Turtle Capital. Please go ahead.
Hi, Hardik. Good afternoon. Two questions. The first one is, so from the commentary that you have given, essentially until the next ship comes, we'll be in a marginal growth phase and probably the ramp up will take couple of quarters. So we can expect growth kind of, going to again 15-20% from FY25. Is that a right way to look at it?
Well, I would not want to put a number, but given the fact that we are going to be disrupting the market again with a new product, better product, larger, capacity, etc., we could probably look at even a larger growth number.
Okay. And since you are almost more than doubling your existing capacity in the same location, and the visitation to Goa will grow at a certain rate. So does it mean that we will have more conversion from visitation and more visitors coming for casino, or are you
just to give you a perspective, there are about 1 crore people who visit Goa on an annual basis. Okay. The casino industry currently, given its current capacity, doesn't attract more than 10-12 lakhs people a year. So even from the current visitations that are already happening into Goa, there is a huge untapped potential available. And most of us are not able to adhere to or service to these kind of numbers because of the constraint in the capacities that we have by virtue of the size of the boats that we have. Having said that, once we increase the capacity, obviously we will be able to cater to larger number of visitors, and we'll be able to cater to large number of people, and therefore we believe that we are not expecting the Goa tourism market to grow dramatically. But since we already have a large unserviced clientele available, and with obviously the new airport coming in, larger number of flights coming in to Goa, and the road connectivity improving, we are bound to get a larger number of visitors and larger number of people visiting Goa, and that will obviously benefit us in the long run.
Okay, understood. And the last question on the new project, the resort project, any revision in the project cost, or we are still looking at 25,000 crore kind of now?
So, it's a dynamic thing. 2,500 crore was the number that we spoke about last time. Obviously, that was the total project cost. Now, whether we split it up into phases, whether we go one full hog, and how do we want to split it to ensure that we are never stretched or never leveraged, is something that is a process that we will, that is a process which is a debate that we continuously have all the time. Like I have said all along, that we will ensure that we are not stretched and we do not have a leveraged kind of a situation at any point of time, is what we will ensure to the best of our ability. But otherwise, the overall project obviously spread across the 100 acres will continue to remain at that number. But we are mindful of the fact, and we'll ensure that there is no stretch on the balance sheet and there is no stretch on the cash flows.
Got it. Thanks a lot. All the best.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Yash Dantewadia of Dantewadia Equity Research. Please go ahead, sir.
It was actually great listening to you. I just have a couple of doubts. I want to understand the economics of the online gaming business. Could you throw some light on it? Just take 2 minutes.
So what is your question?
I want to understand the economics of the business, because it's still not EBITDA positive, right?
So I don't know how long have you been following Delta as a company, because online business till a couple of quarters back has always been positive. It was a not only EBITDA positive but also bottom line positive business. It is because that we have chosen to grow and grow faster and grow bigger, that we have started to spend our monies on to marketing, sales promotion, advertising and other related activities.
So exactly what I meant by I want to understand the economics. How much are you spending on advertisement?
So that's what. And that is why you are seeing the growth, the profitability getting under pressure. Now, just to give you a perspective, in the quarter ended September, we had spent about 22 odd crores on marketing, sales promotion activity. In the quarter ended December, that number has gone up to 28 crores. And, given the fact that we are pursuing to grow and we are hoping to grow bigger, better, faster, this amount of spend is going to be there for the next few quarters till we reach an optimum size, and the unit economics. What is more important in a business like ours is to ensure that the unit economics is positive. And by unit economics, what we mean is that when I acquire a customer by spending money on customer acquisition, within a certain time frame which is reasonable, that customer should not only break even but start contributing individually. So far as every customer that I acquire is unit economics positive, I should not be worried about in the short term of the interim losses, because eventually when you reach a certain size and stature and all the customers that you acquired are all unit economics positive, eventually the business will start throwing large amount of cash.
The main reason I asked this question, and thank you for explaining it so beautifully, but the main reason I asked this question was because since you're planning to go for an IPO in the next 1 or 2 years, I just wanted to understand how this is going to shape up in terms of profitability and what the advertisement cost.
The IPO is not 1 or 2 years. Like I just now said in the question, just before this question of yours, we have completed all our legwork, formalities, all the processes that are required to be carried out from an IPO perspective. We are waiting for the right time and the right conducive market conditions to launch the IPO.
So from here onwards, are we going to be taking a more aggressive approach as far as the online gaming business is concerned?
We are already aggressive than what we were before, and we will be as much aggressive as we need to be to ensure that we do not bleed very heavily, but at the same time we don't compromise on growth as well.
Okay, so thank you. And also, is there any update on the Daman court case?
The matter, the Daman Hospitality, the company which was a subsidiary of Delta, we had a merger which got effected in this quarter. So we had certain legal formalities to complete, whereby the writ had to be transferred from Daman Hospitality to now Delta Corp. And those formalities are over. We are now on the daily board, unlike what we were on the weekly board earlier. So we are hoping that from next week onwards, we'll start seeing some traction and movement on the case as well.
If there is a favorable outcome in the court case, how is it going to affect your operations? Could you give me an idea?
It's all going to be very, very highly positive.
What kind of impact could you throw a number, or could you?
I would not want to double guess and try to deviate from our focus at this point of time. Let the court case and the outcome be announced. And, there are international examples that are available for destinations like Daman, and they have been thriving and have been thumpingly successful, so we'll wait. We genuinely believe that Daman is a very, very big opportunity. It can be as big or bigger than Goa, but why double guess and put a number at this point of time?
Sure. Hope you get a favorable outcome, and the next con caller actually ask you for a number and you give me a number. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, in order to ensure that the management is able to address questions from all participants in the conference, please limit your questions to 2 per participant. We have the next question from Sachin Kasera from Swan Investments. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, hi, Hardik. My question was on this new vessel, wherein I think you mentioned your capacity from a Corp 2.5 times.
Sachin, can you be a bit louder? I am unable to hear you, please.
Sure. Is it better now?
Yes, please.
I'm saying regarding the new vessel that you mentioned that is going to increase the capacity by 2.5 times. So 2 parts to that. One is that how long do you think it will take before you can reach like sort of a good number there? And secondly, do we need to then significantly increase our market share, or because of, there have been certain reports that post the new airport that's get opened, the overall traffic in Goa is going to grow significantly, and hence, it is just that the increased traffic for itself will take care of the incremental supply that you're bringing into the market.
So, Sachin, as far as the traffic is concerned, I just explained to this gentleman before you that, today there is 1 crore people coming into Goa Today, what we are servicing is hardly 10, 15 lakhs, 12 lakhs of the 1 crore visitations that are happening into Goa. So you already have a large amount of untapped potential market already visiting Goa.
Because the 10-15% looks reasonable, because we can't expect every visitor to go and visit a casino, right? So if you could give us certain examples globally, how does it work? Because see, Macau and all are typically, or last year, they're typically only casino-only destinations. Hence,
yeah, but today typically what has happened is that every person going to Goa, and when I say every person, I would say at least 90-95% of the people going to Goa, casino visit has become a part of their itinerary. Now, if that is the case, we are still not able to service the entire 1 crore people. Now, ideally, we would want to do that and reach there. But obviously, it is not something that we can do given the constraint we are going to be on board. The vessels have a certain size restrictions, etc., etc. So over a period of time, we will increase our capacity like we have been doing in past. And now with this increase, we are trying to reach as large a number as possible. So, and yes, obviously, the new airport, the increased number of flights, the better road connectivity, the Bombay-Goa expressway, etc., all is going to fuel to the inflow of people and tourism into Goa, and that's obviously going to be a positive thing for the business as such.
No, but
and I don't believe that we have been spending large amounts on our marketing, because in any case, marketing is a limited space that one can do as far as casinos are concerned. So it's restricted only to Goa. I cannot do open and shut marketing. It's whatever little surrogate and direct marketing I do. So there is no large spend that we envisage or anticipate when it comes to marketing spends.
So what is then our sense? Is it that we expect a very rapid and a steep improvement in terms of the overall traffic once these new vessels comes in? Because
it's very simple. It's very simple, Sachin. It is very simple. Today, I am the most expensive casino in Goa to visit. Mm-hmm. I start at 3,500 rupees entry, go up to 8,000, 10,000, depending upon which day of the week and what is the kind of visitation that I am experiencing. Right? Tomorrow I decide I don't want to charge anything and I make everything free. I will go full every day. I have the demand even today. So it's a question of how you price yourself, how you position yourself, and with the capacity increase, obviously I will be able to attract much larger crowds. So whether it will be a J curve, whether it will be a V curve, whether it will be a steep, let's wait and see, and then be happy for ourselves when it actually happens.
Okay, let me rephrase my question. If and when you reach optimal utilization, can we expect that since your capacity is going 2.5 times, in the medium term, your revenue from Goa should also go up by 2 to 2.5 times? Now, the time frame is something that is obviously open for discussion, but is that the right interference?
It could be much more. Okay. It could be much more, because it ultimately depends on what kind of a mix of customers. If it is only, the walk-ins that are going to come, yes, maybe 2 times the revenue, 2.5 times the revenue. But if I'm going to get more focused, more serious, my club dealt-in members, etc., then the growth can be much more. But like I said, let's wait and let the event happen, and let's all be happy together.
And are we going to look in terms of sustaining the margins, or is it because the capacity is going up 2.5 times? We would be happy with a much higher revenue, but then settle, because you mentioned that 37-30 has been the historical broad range for your casino business.
Sorry. I am not able to understand what you say.
You mentioned that historical the range of margins for your casino business has been 37-38%. Something with
it will only improve. I also said, Sachin, that they will only improve from here once the operational leverages kick in, because once you reach an optimum cost level, every additional rupee, about 55 to 60% of that gets added to the EBITDA. So now obviously when I have a larger ship, my salary cost and everything will go up. So initially you will see a margin crunch happening because my number of employee cost will go up, my operating cost will go up. But once I start filling to the capacity, the revenue will be far higher than what my costs are. So obviously the margins will only improve. We have seen that happen in 2013-14 when we launched Delta Royale.
Sure. And this new airport, does it have any, because of the different location, does it have any?
Sachin, I think there are people waiting. You and I can meet up like we have done in the past, and we can take all the questions that you have, Sachin.
Sure.
I'm sorry to be cutting you like this, but
no problem.
Please appreciate.
Mr. Kasera, if you have any further questions, you may rejoin the queue, sir. Once again, a reminder to all. Please limit your questions to 2 per participant. The next question is from the line of Chintan Mehta from Prudent Broking. Please go ahead.
Sir, my majority of question get answered. I just have 2 questions. What is the margin profile difference between land-based casino and live casino?
Not too much of difference. In fact, land-based casino, if it is of a similar size, the margins can be even better, given the fact that a lot of marine-related costs that we incur and a lot of petrol and fuel-related costs that we incur on a ship that will not exist. But you have to compare it on a like-to-like basis, and effectively the margins can be better on a land casino.
Okay, and sir, if you can throw some light on land-based casino competition. I mean,
today there is no competition because land-based casinos, whatever they are existing, including ours, are all 1,000, 2,000, 3,000 square foot small casinos catering to mostly the house guests of the hotels. The real test will be when what we are looking at in our new project, where we looking at about 150,000 square feet of casino space. That would be the real big casino that will come into operation, and then we'll see what happens. But today, honestly speaking, of the entire Goa gaming market, 90% of the market would be the offshore casino, 10% would be coming in from, or 15% would be coming in from the land-based casino. So there are no real competition as such.
Okay. And so last question from my side. On Delta Tech Gaming side, if you can throw some light on in-term strategy growth for the next 3-5 years. I mean, what kind of new segment or new gaming we are trying to explore?
I have Shivanandan Pare, who's the managing director and the CEO, who's the CEO at Delta Tech Gaming. Shiva, would you want to throw some light on his question, please? Can you please get in, Shiva?
Shivanandan, your line has been unmuted, so you can go ahead and speak.
Yeah. Hello. Am I audible?
Yes, you're audible, sir. Go ahead, please.
Yeah. I mean, firstly, in digital business, if I were to paint a 5-year down the line picture, it's very, very difficult because we are dealing in a very dynamic environment. Having said that, the idea is poker we would like to continue to maintain and increase our leadership position in the online space. We believe poker appeals to the younger audience in the country, and India has the youngest population as far as the world is concerned. And most of these 18+ kids are moving to poker. So that's one space. The second space is the overall multi-gaming platform, where multiple games come in, and we basically look at a horizontal play there, have one door, one entry point, and offer multiple games to the users. These two are going to be, which will continue to be the strategy. As and when the opportunity grows, as I told in the beginning, that digital space is extremely dynamic, and as a business, as a team, we are chasing a moving target. As and when new opportunities come, we would not shy away from investing in that.
Okay. So, sir, currently we are not in multiple gaming, correct?
So we have launched our Adda games. In fact, one of the reasons that if you see that for last couple of quarters, our margins look to be a little depressed is because we are investing in that platform. We are building team, and we have already launched it. It's called Adda.games. That is our multi-gaming platform. We already have 14 games there. We are seeing encouraging signs in terms of both acquisition cost, user traction, both in terms of monthly active users and daily active users.
Okay, got it, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
Thanks.
Thank you. The next question is from the line of Ranodeep Sen from MAS Capital. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, thank you for the opportunity. My first question was in terms of, can you share an update in terms of how many Club Delta members we have? If I recall, it was around 6,000 a year ago. Any update on that?
It's a very dynamic number. It changes from day to day, but I think we should be in the similar range at this point of time because, and when I say dynamic, a lot of people drop out also. So if you are a member today and you don't fulfill the criteria, you will no longer be a member, but somebody else will come in. So it's a dynamic number. I don't have the exact number at this point of time, but I think we should be in the range of that 5,000-6,000.
Okay. Another update, I believe we are exploring a real estate project, courtesy of land parcel. I think we were not able to sell that land and we are coming up with a real estate project. Any update on that?
No, it was not a land parcel that we were not able to sell. We had bought that land with a view to build a hotel. Eventually we bought a ready-made hotel and therefore that land became available of sorts, and therefore the best way to monetize it was to, try and do a development and get better valuation out of it. The project is well underway, and I think in the next 12 to 18 months, we should see the completion of that project and the cash flows starting in the next couple of quarters.
And like what kind of revenues are we expecting from that project overall?
It's the land cost in the books is about 100 crores and the construction cost is about 120, 130 crores. So that's about 250 crores give and take, and plus whatever profits would come out of it. So that's the kind of cash flow that we are looking at.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you. We have Anupam Agarwal from Lucky Investment Managers with the next question. Please go ahead, sir.
Yeah, good afternoon, sir, and thank you for the opportunity. So my question is on the upcoming casino, the bigger vessel. Can you help us understand the incremental fixed cost that would come on our P&L given the fact that we commission the vessel in Q4 this coming year?
For the new vessel you are talking of?
Yes, the fixed cost per in particular.
Yeah, so we have to look at the staffing in addition to, so basically the biggest cost would be the employee cost. So once we freeze on the exact number that we want to start recruiting from day one, we will be in a position, but we are looking at 1,200, 1,400, 1,500 additional people. So we'll be able to give you a number closer to the operations date. It's a little early in the day to say what is the fixed cost because everything else is going to be variable.
Understood. And what about the license fees? I remember the last time you mentioned was incremental 10-12 crores per quarter on the bigger vessel.
No, as of now we haven't put a number to it because currently the provision says we are at what we are with the 10% increase that has happened. But once we get our new vessel certified and approved and registered, depending upon what capacity registration we get and what size we finally get, the fees will be determined thereon. So we'll know closer to that date again.
Got it. Will you help us understand in this quarter gone by, what was the contribution from Nepal and Sikkim?
Nepal, for the 9 months, Nepal has contributed close to about 35 crores, which is roughly about 4 crores a month. And Sikkim has contributed about 21 crores, which is roughly about give and take 1 crore 75 lakhs to 2 crores a month.
Understood. So again, coming back to the vessel, once we commission the vessel, do you see some sort of cannibalization from the existing vessel to the bigger one?
This is a doubt and a fear every time a new vessel comes into in the river. We face this question, like I was saying, way back in 13-14 when we did Delta Royale. But not only we have grown, but grown bigger and better than what we were then. And like I said, there is enough room for growth because there is enough untapped market existing. Forget the growth of the market itself happening, but there is enough untapped market available. So I don't think in the initial, 1 month, 2 months, you may see some cannibalization here and there. But I think eventually the market has grown, penetrated much bigger and better, and we expect the same thing to follow once the new vessel comes in.
Right.
Thank you.
Do you have a sense as to what the capacity of Big Daddy and Pride would be, if you can throw out a number?
No, I would not be able to give a comment on that, please.
No issues. That's all from my side, and wish you all the best.
Thank you. That was the last question for today. I would now like to hand the conference over to the management for the closing comments. Over to you, sir.
No, I think we had a discussion on almost all the topics that are material and sensitive as far as the business is concerned. We have been able to cover all areas, and I'm hopeful and hoping that I've been able to answer most of it to the best of everyone's satisfaction. I think, like I said, we are on the right path, right trajectory, and it's only for the time to tell where we are going to be, growing. And like I said, it's a step-up growth that we have always seen, and we believe and hope that that will continue.
Thank you. On behalf of Antique Stock Broking Limited, that concludes this conference. Thank you for joining us. You may now disconnect your lines.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Alpesh.
Thank you. Yeah.